All right, on the currency front, the Kenyan shilling held steady on Friday, ending the session at 83.6080, which was the same level that it closed on Thursday. And today it is still trading at the same level ahead of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. Crossing over to the Nairobi Securities Exchange, turnover rose 41% week on week to about 2.39 billion shillings on Friday, while the benchmark index NSE 20 share index added 0.8% to 4,821.17 points, while the all share index gained 2.23% to close at 120.06 points. With us in studio, we have Rufus Mwanyasi, a portfolio manager from Kenyan Capital, who will be talking to us more on some of these numbers. Thank you for joining us.
No, pleasure.
Are you impressed with the equity numbers that we have seen this morning?
Not really, because it just came, just met our expectations. We expected a number between 20 to 25% on the profits before tax, and when it comes to net interest income, we also fell within the margin that we expected, between 20 and 22%. So I guess, well, maybe in terms of its impact on the pricing, we don't see much of an effect because that was already priced in.
And in terms of the loans and advances that they had for the first quarter, is that something that we can look out for as a guide to other banks, how they're likely to perform? Absolutely.
Well, just even looking at the indication that was given by NSE Bank, which released its results about a week ago, and now Equity Bank, we've seen the margin is coming just between 10 and 15% now for Equity Bank. I guess that's likely to be the trend for the banking sector. I think that number of 15% is a good number, just in view of what happened in the first quarter of the year and the difficulties within that environment. I think that was actually a surprise number for us. So I think going forward, I think we expect good results on that aspect of the results.
We saw their share price on Friday reduce a little bit marginally,
yes,
to 31 shillings from 31.25. Do you see the stock rising or reducing?
Well, I think at this point in time, the price of not just Equity Bank but the whole banking sector as well as a whole is not going to respond so much on the fundamentals, but on the sentiment of the market. So, despite the fact that we expect good results to come out, we're not likely to see any improvements on the price going forward, because as we speak, year to date, as a sector as a whole, I mean the sector as a whole, the average price is over 10%. Okay, so I think in the minds of investors is there's a bit of indecision. People are asking themselves, are we seeing a top here? And on that view alone, we've seen a lot of profit-taking trades. Well, the price at 31 for equity has been supported by foreign buyers coming in. But if it was left for locals, I think the price should be crashing down maybe to about 25, 20 there.
So we can say that some of these stocks have had their ceiling.
Exactly, and that's the fear, because even you look up on the relative strength index of the market as a whole is about 45%. It tells you, the market is really at that seesaw place where they don't know whether to take the price forward or is it time, to start booking our profits.
Based on the numbers that we've seen from equity, how do you think the peers will perform? You're talking about Kenya Commercial Bank, which is announcing this Wednesday, yes, and we have other banks also that are following suit. What is this cue that we can take from the equity numbers?
Well, like I stated, I think we think on the profitability side, I think they're going to have a good ride. Just looking even from the indication for the full year results for last year, I mean, as a sector, they made about $1 billion. Actually, to be exact, it's about $1.2 billion, up from about 938 the previous year. We expect for this year, for this quarter, just looking, from NSE Bank and Equity, it gives us a good indication of what we expect. So, in terms of the profitability, in terms of the asset-wise, we think we're going to see a bit of increase there.
All right. We have seen Safaricom day on day, having a very new high every single day. And on Friday, we saw it hit 7.2
yes.
Shillings. Do you see like it has more leg room to actually go higher?
Well, that's a tricky question because, you know, the stock is trading at, you know, a 5-year high right now. And just looking at the price alone, you know, the pattern itself is a bullish sequence, you know, of prices. You know, the lows that we've seen, there are lower lows and higher highs, which, you know, from a technical standpoint, it tells you that there's a lot of strength in the price. There's a lot of confidence from the market. And I think just looking at the price alone, yes, we might see the price still tick upwards. But in terms of valuation, I think the market I think it's already overvalued.
So it's a good time to cash in.
Exactly.
All right. Looking at the flip side, we're looking at Kenya Airways. That is one of the stocks that has been performing poorly. In the last 6 months, I think it has lost about 12% against a backdrop of a very bullish market where we're seeing other stocks performing quite well. Are there turbulent times ahead for Kenya Airways?
Well, I know when you look at the numbers and the projections that have been made by, you know, by the market, they don't look really well. Even from the management side, they expect a bit of a difficult environment for this year. I mean, owing to the fact that there's a bit of competition coming in. You know, they have not really been able to, you know, to put a hold on the oil prices and in terms of them hedging that. So that in itself really raises a lot of concerns. But in my view, I think in terms of pricing, like I said, I think the market right now is reacting more on sentiment and expectations rather than on the numbers that are expected to come out.
In terms of the routes, Africa versus the Far East versus the European routes?
Well, I think maybe that's just one expectation that is going to, you know, at least support the price. We've seen good numbers, particularly, I mean, in terms of passenger volumes, they've really been supported by guys going to Asia compared to guys going to Europe. So I think on that basis alone, we expect, you know, that in itself to feed into the investors' expectation to support the price. Personally, like I was saying, I think the price is a good stock. I think it's one of the laggards of the industry. I mean, in the market, people have really ignored that stock, and I think you know what, this is the best time to buy that stock,
despite them announcing a 25% profit warning for the full year.
Exactly. I think this is the best time when the market is bleeding. This is the best time to, you know, to start putting those entries. And going forward, we saw it, you know, we saw a sharp spike in about a month ago, and it hit about 11.5. Right now it is retreated a little bit, but I think going forward, these are the best entry levels you can ever find for that particular stock.
All right.